Yes, passes 7-0.
With a quick vote, Phoenix City Council ending a major lawsuit, a $650,000 settlement now go.
$650,000 taxpayer dollar settlement.
Going to Frances Salazar. She's a grandmother who spent nearly 2 years in prison, wrongfully convicted because police hid their officer's history of lying.
Hid the officer's history of lying. Raise your hand if you're surprised about that. If your hand's raised, you're an idiot.
I mean, what they did to me is wrong, period, all the way around.
Our mission is to stand for what's right, no matter the pressure or the pushback or how long it takes.
It's why Chief Investigator Dave Biscopine spent the past 4 years covering what happened to Frances, and Dave's here now with the kind of reporting you're only going to see right here on ABC 15.
Now, a lot of time has passed since this case began, but it's important to know how we got here, because it ended up being about so much more than just one case or just one officer.
It's always about so much more. Corruption starts at the top and slides downhill. It don't start. You got a bunch of rookies coming up with a bunch of shit. All this stuff starts at the top and works its way down.
It helped expose Arizona's broken Brady list system. It put the police chief under oath. It exposed Phoenix PD had no clue or care about a basic constitutional right. And it exposed how hard the city would fight to defend an officer with a history of lies and sex assault allegations.
Spoiler alert, the chief of police is a total idiot.
Devastating. It was worse than a nightmare. I mean,
it was August 2020, our first report on Frances Salazar and her case.
It's hard to put it to words.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give.
And you can tell by this whole demeanor, he's about to be a big fat liar.
Frances spent 22 months in prison for alleged drug possession. The conviction based solely on the testimony of Officer Anthony Armour. There was no video, no pictures, no drug tests, or any physical evidence.
You have an officer who got on the stand. That's it. End of inquiry.
After 2 years, a judge tossed Frances's conviction.
2 years it took.
The court found out Armour was a documented liar, and before Frances's trial, Phoenix PD did not disclose that he falsely arrested a different woman and lied about the circumstances.
He's a habitual liar, can't be trusted, so yeah, sounds like one that should have a uniform, a badge, and a gun.
We aired Frances's story as part of a larger ABC 15 investigation.
Dave Biscopine continues full disclosure, his year-long investigation exposing Arizona's broken Brady system.
The Brady list is supposed to track officers with a history of lies, crimes, and other integrity concerns.
Oh, it tracks them. They're just not going to let you know about it.
It gets its name from the 1963 case, Brady v. Maryland. The Supreme Court ruled negative information like that needs to be disclosed in criminal cases. But because it wasn't in cases like Frances's, we decided to compile.
Also, can we appreciate the haircut on the thug?
And publish the first ever statewide Brady list. And we've been updating it ever since. It's now got more than 1,800 names.
Confirming deeply disturbing new details about that officer, Anthony Armour. He's been accused of sexual assault multiple times.
After reporting on Frances's case, we quickly discovered a lot more about that officer's past. 2 women, including a fellow cop, say he sexually assaulted them. But
even a fellow cop accused him and they still did nothing? Wonder what he has on whom.
Phoenix cleared Armour each time. Now our reporting put a lot of pressure on Phoenix PD, and it led to an interview with then police.
It didn't put a lot of pressure on Phoenix PD. Phoenix PD couldn't give a crap one way or the other. And you about to find out why. Because the chief of police is a complete idiot. She knows nothing. Don't know how the Brady list works. She's an idiot. She's a DEI hire.
Chief Jerry Williams.
And attorneys say how the chief did respond shows she has, quote, no idea about how the Brady system works.
We found that it was, as of last year, about between 100 and 110 active Phoenix officers were on the Brady list. How do you feel about that?
I feel that that's a process that's been set up to make sure that the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and the prosecutors can engage in asking people questions during the voir dire process.
It's a process that's set up that don't expect her to know crap about it.
Voir dire has nothing to do with Brady. It's jury selection.
Tonight, it's the Phoenix police chief like you've never seen her before, on camera and under oath.
Chief Williams was deposed because of Francis's lawsuit. We got a copy of the tape.
Chief Williams, do you know anything about my client, Francis Salazar?
Do I know anything about who and who?
Who and who? When they say that, when they repeat the question back, they're trying to figure out a lie that's going to sound good.
And whether she actually knew about Francis or not, her lawsuit forced the chief to answer questions about our reporting and why she didn't know how the Brady list worked.
Chief of police don't know how the Brady list works. She probably on it.
To you before I misspoke when I talked to ABC 15. I should have left that to NCAO.
As chief of police, are you expected to have a working knowledge of Brady?
One might think.
Chief of police, I'm not to be the subject matter expert on Brady list.
The evidence turned over in Francis's lawsuit also proved that Phoenix routinely sat on officers' misconduct files, the city waiting 200 days on average before submitting names for the Brady list.
200 days because they're not about their government. They got all the time in the world. They don't care.
They came to you and said, Chief Williams, it's taking on average 200 days for a Brady report that's finalized to get to NCAO. What would you say to that?
Objection assumes that's not in evidence, speculation, foundation, debate.
And during our reporting, we also learned the Department of Justice looked into Francis's case as part of their ongoing investigation into Phoenix PD.
Ooh, I'm sure they'll come up with something on that. They won't. It makes the headlines. People are upset. Then government takes forever. They prolong it. They stretch it out. It falls from the headlines. The next big thing pops up. This gets forgot about. And before you know it, he's either kept his job or he's resigned while he's under investigation, which stops the investigation, and he just gets to go to another department and draw more taxpayer money.
I don't want this to happen to anybody else. I want there to be some kind of change.
A few more things to point out. Officer Armour is now retired. He left under a confidential disability claim. And
confidential disability claim. So now he gets to draw taxpayer dollars for the rest of his life. Come on, Arizona. All you people, pick up a second and third shift. He needs some more money.
Collecting a pension. And as we were reporting on this case, Phoenix also tried to subpoena our raw reporting. We argued in court the city subpoena was clearly retaliation. In attempt to...
It is. They're trying to shut everybody up. They don't want this going any further than it's already gone. Department of Justice in the middle of it, they don't care.
Scare away victims and sources from speaking to us. And in the end, Phoenix lost, wasting more of your taxpayer dollars in the process.
Shocker.
I'm investigator Dave Biscobing, ABC 15, Arizona.